Hello everyone, and welcome back here to a very special episode of The Light Between Us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our partnership with Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. My guest here today in The Light Between Us is from Chick-fil-A Cicero, Alex Prutsman. Alex, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Doing very well. So, you came here a couple years ago to Chick-fil-A Cicero. What brought you here?
Well, I needed a job. I was babysitting for a time, and that kind of ended, so then I needed to find some other means of employment. I originally had applied to Wegmans, and my sister worked there at the time, so I was like, oh, I'll definitely get the job. That didn't end up happening, and then a family friend of mine had a son that worked here. He doesn't work here now. And the mom was like, oh, you should have her apply here. And I was like, well, I need a job, so sure, why not? So I applied, not really thinking much of it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting the job. And it was through the course of the interview and hearing Jimmer talk that I was like, oh my goodness, so much of the principles you're learning in this company, I'm going to take with me wherever I go. And the commitment to excellence is something that I wanted, and I am so grateful that they set the bar so high, because then it forces you to do that, but I already had the desire to do that, so it was encouraging that that's the environment that I was working in.
So you came here because you needed a job,
Yeah.
and what you quickly realized was the things that you stand for and you care about and that you wanted to learn are right here.
Exactly.
So, once again, God kind of led you
And
somewhere.
it's crazy because I remember talking to my mom and being all upset when I couldn't find the job, and I had been praying about it, and I was like, okay, why is nothing turning up? And when she first mentioned working here, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. That's not my thing. And then it ended up being the perfect place for me, and that was exactly where I needed to be.
What is it, when you think about the principles that are taught here and the values, what are the ones that stick out to you that you really feel are having such a positive effect on you?
There's so many. It's so hard to think of a few to list.
All of them. Good night.
Literally all of them. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the commitment to excellence is one. The knowing how to interact with people the right way and giving good customer service is, I think, a really important thing, especially, and the positivity is another one, like just how positive this environment is, and the expectations that Chick-fil-A as a company has for everyone has just helped me grow into those expectations, and it's just encouraging knowing that your managers are behind you the entire way and that there's people there to support you and cheer you on.
And you talked about that positivity. It's why we do this segment, The Light Between Us. It's why I do wake-up calls, why I do anything. So being positive in a world that like almost fights positivity, how do you wake up and stay positive?
I mean, I think putting God first is one. Doing your Bible study and walking with Him is definitely the way that I would say I stay positive. And then being in fellowship with other believers. I'm lucky to be raised in a Christian family, so my family definitely influences that for me. But then just working here, being with other people that are positive and learning how to manage stressful situations well while still having a smile on your face. Because it's very easy to get stressed out and then get upset or get annoyed, and I still fight that. It's still there for sure, but it's easier when you're around people that are encouraging, saying, no, you can do this, and then being like, yeah, because there's always a smile worth giving someone.
I think that's the cool. There's always a smile worth giving someone. When did that become kind of a thing for you?
I don't know. I was always shy. When I first started, I was super shy and nervous about talking to people. But I don't know. It just eventually I don't know, being around my other team members and like talking to them and learning that they're people too. And I guess realizing that everyone you come into contact with is a person created in God's image, and knowing that no matter what they're going through, no matter how they're treating you, you can still share a smile and still show God's love to them.
And like you said, there's always a smile worth giving. There's always a moment where you could be positive,
Exactly.
where you give somebody something.
Exactly.
How do you, when you're in those adverse moments, and it would be easy to be negative, it would be easy to be pessimistic or to worry, you said, you lean on God. How do you do that in those moments of adversity? Is it a prayer? Is it silence? What do you do?
So it depends on what I'm facing, I guess. But sometimes if I have the mental fortitude to be able to pray in that second along with multitasking, then I will. Or it might be like, okay, clearly for whatever reason God decided this needs to have my life, so I can walk through it trusting that ultimately it's going to end up working out for my good. And then in that, knowing that you're showing God's light to others around you, and I guess that's the biggest one, is you're representing him to others. So trying to be optimistic and trying to speak calmly but firmly if there's a situation that comes up, or just smiling or listening to someone, those are all things that are going to reflect on you as a person, but then more importantly, how you're displaying him to others.
Where did your faith, I know you said you grew up in a Christian household, but where did you really start to feel it for yourself? At what point?
I don't know, I think it was around like 14, maybe 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. Because before that I would just, go to church because my parents said to, like, do certain things because they tell me to do it. But I feel like 13, 14, 15, I realized in there, like, okay, I'm getting older, so I can make the decision to make it my own or to walk away from the Lord. And I was like, I don't want to, like, and then I don't know, it just kind of fell from there, I guess, that I've desired to grow closer to him.
You're in a place at Chick-fil-A where you don't have to hide it.
No.
How nice is it to go to work in the morning and not have a boss tell you, you can have a faith in God, just don't talk about it?
It just takes amount of weight away. I can't even express it. It just is very like, okay, because no matter what happens, you can still talk about it. You have this joy, and it's not like, oh, you gotta keep it hidden, just smile, but say nothing about it. Like, you can tell people about the joy that you have, and it's just really encouraging and really awesome. And especially, like, it's cool the amount of believers that I've met through here. Like, people's walking in wearing a really cool, like, I don't know, I love Jesus shirt, and then being like, oh, I like your shirt, by the way. And then just by saying that, you can have a conversation about it. It's just really cool and really awesome.
How do we be ambassadors for the Lord today?
I mean, I think just like representing him well, just in whatever you're doing, like doing your work with excellence, living above reproof. I don't know, maybe just living in a good way, setting an example to other people, and if anyone asks you about it, then you can tell them why you have this joy.
You said that, just kind of like this faith that you have and the smile to give. There's something that I learned recently. I was at church and a priest said this. It was only 3 words, but it hit me because I'm a person, and I'm always honest on my show on and off the air. I've worried a lot. You worry about what you can't control. If I'm good to a person, why are they not good back to me? And the priest said a couple weeks ago, he said, worrying is disobedience. And that hit me, and I was like, what does that mean? Because it literally says in the Bible, do not worry. And they said if you have faith in God, then you wouldn't worry. If you truly believe that God is there for you and God has your back, then worrying is being disobedient, because worrying is essentially telling him, I don't have enough faith.
That's so good. I never thought about it like that.
So now it's kind of like finally clicking after all these years that if worrying is disobedience, I don't want to be disobedient.
Exactly.
So, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because I thought it was so powerful.
I agree, yeah, because I always thought of it as like, it's a command, do not worry. But I always just thought of it as like a friendly little suggestion of like, hey, by the way, maybe don't. But that's clearly not what it is. And like thinking it as something that worrying is sinful and is disobedience.
Yeah.
And again, it's natural to worry, to then lean on God and be like, I need your help, I'm worrying about this. And then be able to take that to other fellow Christians and be like, hey, could you pray for me? I'm really worrying about this a lot. I don't know, it takes a lot of pressure off, and it's very freeing, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use for it. It's very freeing. So, do you have a favorite memory here at Chick-fil-A?
Oh my gosh, there's too many. I mean, the people I work with, I just work with so many great people and so many great managers. I don't know. And again, some of the guests, like there'll be ones that are a little, grouchy here or there. Everyone has their bad days.
Yeah.
But like, just the amount of times when you're just coming into work and you want to be here, but it's not like you're like, yay, you're just kind of, it's my work, it's my job, okay. And then you'll meet a guest and you'll just click with the person. When that happens, it like makes the day so much better. And when you just are like, oh my goodness, I love that shirt, or I had this in common with you, and then talking to my team members and just being with them and being around the people, it's just so much fun.
So, Jim Rusakowski, speaking of the people, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. We met through Chick-fil-A. I now consider him one of my best friends to the point where I just call him my brother. What is it about Jimmer, and I know I'm asking a question that we could talk about for days, But what is it about him that you think makes him such a big light in the world? Besides everything.
Yeah, besides everything. Oh, took my answer. I think the way he treats people.
Yeah.
He's not going to put up with people messing around or doing things like that. But you can tell if you are willing to work hard and if you want to see the company succeed, he will support you in every way possible, and he wants that. And he's just very, he listens well, and he's direct but just very kind in the things that he does and how thoughtful and giving that he is in so many different ways. There's, again, like you said, so much that I could talk about, but I guess those are really the giving and just the way he treats people, whether it's the team members, whether it's the guests. You can tell he cares deeply about people.
And that care, I'm sure, is contagious.
Oh, yes.
And you get to connect with that. Like you said, you love the people that you get to work with, you love your managers, you love, obviously Jimmer and what he brings to the table, and then interacting with guests and whatnot. How has Chick-fil-A maybe made your life outside of work better?
Well, I'm not as scared to talk to people. that's one thing.
You're doing this today.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big step for me. And then I can't think of an area of my life that it hasn't affected, to be honest. It's poured out with my relationships with my siblings, with my parents, with my friends, with my walk with Christ, all of those things. It really has just, I feel add depth to that. And then I would say work ethic. It's definitely helps you become a better worker, a better hard worker, depending on what you're going into. It doesn't matter if it's staying here or career-wise.
Yeah.
Every area of my life has been affected in a positive way by working here.
So, in closing, if someone didn't know Jesus, how would you describe him?
Oh my gosh. That's so hard. He's a friend. He's your savior. He loves you if no one else does. He does. And to know that he's willing to die for you means a lot. I'm gonna start crying.
Having that, like you said, around 13 or 14, that depth of faith really happened, where you said, I can either just stay in it because I was told to, or I could choose to leave. To jump into it and to talk about it so freely and be unapologetic about it, how much, how rewarding is that and fun for you, where it's he is your best friend, because he's my best friend. He's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, he
I'll
does.
tell you that. When he's having a slow day, I'm like, I know you're coming over here. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So do you feel like that rewarding side of it is the fact that you can laugh at him, you can cry with him?
Oh yeah. It's the best friend you're ever gonna have, and knowing that he has your best at heart, knowing that he just loves you unconditionally and will forgive you every time you fail is just the best. It's everything you could ask for in a human relationship, only obviously it's God, but he's also human as well. So it's just, it's very powerful. One of leading me to tears.
We look for, it's funny because it's people look for God in humans instead of looking for God in God.
He's the only person that can satisfy. Yeah.
Big words. I don't even know what to say to that. He's the only person he's the only one that can satisfy. It's true.
Yeah.
There's only one well you can really drink from.
That's very true.
So for Alex, for myself, Dan, here at Chick-fil-A Cicero, this has been the life between us, and this is what it means this is what it looks like to truly believe in God. So y'all aren't alone. We're here with you. And as you know, as always on Wake Up Call, we leave you with this. God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon. Have a wonderful day. Be safe.